Good evening. We're in Studio 6A, and it is May 28th, Wednesday, 2025. And it's my pleasure and my honor and my true honor.
What?
My true honor, to be speaking with Mr. John J. Jeckovich. How are you feeling today?
Very good, thank you.
You're looking well. I like your new sweater.
Yeah.
It looks extremely stylish on you. I heard you had a beautiful visitor today.
Yeah, Amber, yeah.
How is she doing?
Yeah, well, she's still 60 plugged up.
Yeah. Well, she's in the water 2 or 3 times a day. She surfs 2 or 3
No,
times.
she's working household. Worked at the house 7 hours a day today.
Oh,
yesterday.
no, that's not good.
I said, look at her hands are blisters. She's got blisters out of her hands.
Good.
7 hours she worked in that house.
No, that's going to change.
This is where I made $500. What the hell of the money?
Yeah.
And then she's all tired out.
Yeah. Well, but it was a nice visit. She comes to keep you company, and you two talk. And did she bring the Bible with her?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, she had it in the car. She didn't bring it in. She's all tired out.
Yeah, I know. Amber travels the world with the Bible in the left hand and her surfboard in the other. It's so refreshing to see a person in their 20s like Amber. She's simply Christocentric, and she has great empathy for others and all people, not just her great-grandfather. Similar to a person how they used to be maybe 40 or 50 years ago when people cared, and now it doesn't seem like too many people have any empathy for one another, and most of them aren't Christocentric, and they're simply
Go their own way.
Go their own way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going their own way. So you had a beautiful visit.
Huh?
You had a beautiful visit.
Yeah.
Yeah, where most youngsters are egocentric and Amber's Christocentric. It was very refreshing to see her. I got many text messages for you, but I'm going to start off with 2 from your grandsons. Chris Naus sent you a text. He goes, I told my kids that the story about the soldier getting a drop on Paul and then waving him on. He told me about that years ago and it always stuck with me. So that story that the Nazi had a drop on you, you told that Chris many years ago, and it never left him. He remembers that story.
Oh,
Chris
boy.
is a great guy. But Chris wanted to tell you and remind you that you built a 2-story shed at his mother's and father's house.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
That was a big shed. And then the second text, he came in from Tom in New York. He's a great kid. And we see beautiful pictures of Amara's birthday last week. What a fine looking girl. She looks like a princess. She's beautiful. I like all the pink with the balloons and all the cupcakes. That was nice.
Yeah, good cupcakes they had.
And Tom in New York says, I always love listening to these podcasts whenever I get a chance. I just listened to one the other day. Please tell Paul we said hi and we all love him. That's from Tom in New York.
Little Tom.
Yeah, he's a beautiful guy. Let's see. And I showed you the pictures of Amara and her birthday. Yeah. Okay, Tom from New York says, I also have a question for Paul for the podcast, if you don't mind. Here's his question. Are you ready?
Okay.
If you could give the younger generation one piece of advice, what would it be?
Know what you're doing.
Know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Could you elaborate on that a little bit more?
Right. Huh?
Could you elaborate on that? Know what you're doing. What
Well, I mean, they can't. They got all this hyper stuff on TV and all over. People tell them what they're doing and what you should be doing.
Yeah.
And they get swamped with all this false information.
They're bombarded with the internets.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
use their own good common sense.
Yeah. And what did they tell you when you got into the military?
Keep your eyes open and your mouth shut.
Yeah. Yeah, keep your
That's good
nose clean.
philosophy too. That's good philosophy too.
And keep your nose clean and your mouth shut. That's beautiful advice. Thank you, Mr. Jeckovich. I'll tell Tom in New York to sure do listen to it. Yeah, I will. Okay, I got those two. I got many more, but we're not going to do that right now. Mr. Jeckovich was from Company H, the 2nd Battalion of the 291st Regiment. Oh, by the way, Chris in New York says he's freezing there.
It's freezing out
That's
there.
what Chris wanted me to tell you.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Jeckovich was from Company H, the 2nd Battalion of the 291st Regiment of the 75th Infantry Division of the U.S. Army during World War II. Mr. Jeckovich, you jogged for 80 years, right?
Yeah.
And that's where you come up with the saying that you live by. Mr. Jeckovich lives by the saying that he lives by, that he's got 2 doctors, his left leg and his right leg.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Mr. Jeckovich never took a prescription in his life, never took a vitamin, never smoked or drank. You kept a really nice, simple life, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Took care of my mother.
Yeah, that's what the book is about, their mother's sons.
Yeah.
He took care of his mother, Anatargus Jeckovich, from when he was 11 years old to her demise at 89. And he was there all the time, except when he was in World War II. He had to go serve the country. So we got a lot of text messages about the book. People are watching it.
Yeah.
The YouTube around the world. We get a lot of nice comments, a lot of nice text questions. But one of the biggest ones we've been coming through every day, and we try to respond in the politest manner possible. Mr. Jeckovich, how much is the book and where could I buy it?
You can't buy it.
The book's not for sale.
No, not for sale, no.
There's only one copy of the book. That's in the World War II Museum in New Orleans, Louisiana. That's the original. But the book is not for sale, and it never will be. That's fine. That's fine. And it never will be for sale. And the book will never be for sale. It's not about money. Mr. Jeckovich has plenty of money. He doesn't need to sell a book. The book is about giving the younger generations great advice to live a simpler and better life. To live a simpler and better life, right?
Right.
Mr. Jeckovich's mind is like a library. You could ask him any questions. He's done many things, but the book is a labor of love to give the younger generations an easier and better life that he had. Yeah. Mr. Jeckovich, how many pages is this book?
849.
And I know you didn't use Google, and I know you didn't use a laptop. How would you write it?
Yellow pages.
Yellow legal tablets.
Yeah, then I got it
Did it
typed
take
up.
you years to write?
6 months.
That's it.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, you can text them at 407-366-0000. Text them at 407-366-0000. And if you're from the beautiful states of North and South Carolina, Hague Point to Fusky Island, you know we speak a little bit different there. Text Mr. Jeckovich at 407-366 double lot. 407-366 double lot. So you can text him any questions from A to Z, including marriage. How long will you live married for?
69 years.
69 years. Last year alone in Florida, we had 90,000 divorces. How come?
Money.
Money. The younger couples are working 2 jobs. Husband's working 2 or 3 jobs. The wife's working 2 or 3 jobs. And it's just simply hard to pay bills. It's hard to pay rent. It's hard to buy a house. And this puts a lot of stress. On a relationship. Yes, it does. Puts a lot of stress on a relationship. So any questions you might have for Mr. Jeckovich from A to Z, please ask him. He worked at Kimberly-Clark for 35 years. World War II combat vet, highly decorated with just about every medal you could think of. Had a laundromat, snowplow business, light construction. What am I missing? Wallpaper, that's hard. You can't find a wallpaper.
No, I didn't know how to do it. I did hang of it there.
Yeah, that's hard. Wow. That's really hard. And then on top of that, you jogged for 80 years, right?
Yeah.
When you started jogging through the streets of Niagara Falls, New York, what kind of response were you getting?
Get off the street, wee bum.
Yeah, 80 years ago, it wasn't acceptable nor fashionable to be a jogger. Mr. Jeckovich would jog down the streets in Niagara Falls, New York, wearing his corduroy pants, big boots, and an old sweatshirt. Did you wear a hat?
Yeah.
And a hat. And what would they say to you?
Get off the streets, you bum.
They throw empty cans of Genesee beer at him.
Yeah.
Pop him in the head one time with a full can of Campbell's soup. But you did it for 80 years.
Yeah.
And that's why you're sitting here today. Driving to the studio today, I seen many joggers. They're on every corner. And they're wearing these very expensive, bright colored neon outfits. Matching shirt, shoes, beautiful expensive sneakers, matching hat. They're even wearing gloves. They have a water bottle wrapped around their waist, and they're listening to music.
Yeah.
Did you ever get into that?
No.
Never. Right to the bitter end, you stayed with corduroy pants, boots,
T-shirt,
and a sweatshirt, T-shirt or a sweatshirt, and a knit cap, right?
Yeah.
And that was it. Why do you think these people have to get dressed up?
Showing off. They're showing
off. Okay.
Showing off. They're showing off. Yeah.
Okay. What advice would you give to a young person today that wanted to start jogging?
I should set a goal out for yourself and don't set a hard goal, set an easy goal, and keep increasing. Don't stop and run.
Set a moderate goal, like maybe a mile to start. Don't stop. Get your mile on the way and keep building up.
Yeah.
But don't get involved in a situation where it's stop and go.
Don't stop.
Yeah. Wow. And some of the excerpts I pulled from his book are very simple, but they give you good insight on how to how you have an easier life. Most of these editions in the book were written for his grandchildren or his great-grandchildren. And some of them are this to them, said to them. I really like for them to know about hand-me-down clothes and homemade ice cream and leftover meatloaf sandwiches. I really would. I hope you learn humility by being humiliated, and that you learn honesty by being cheated. I hope you learn to make your own bed and mow and wash the car. Here's one of the better ones. And I really hope no one gives you a brand new car when you turn 16. Did you get a brand new car?
No.
Were you ever thinking of a brand new car?
No. Never thought about it. Never thought
about it. It'll be good for at least one time you can see your puppies being born and your old dog put to sleep. I hope you get a black eye fighting for something you believe in, right?
Right.
Did you get many black eyes as a boy?
No, not too many, no.
Okay. When you want to see a movie with your little brother, I hope you let him tag along.
Oh, yeah, he went.
I hope you have to walk uphill to school with your friends and that you live in a town where you can do it safely. What was your walking to school experience?
Walking?
You left 3063 Orleans Avenue to where?
I went, the morning I got up, I went to gas school,
Niagara Falls High School.
Niagara Falls High School. Stayed there half a day, and then walked to Trot, which
Trot
is
vocational.
4 miles away.
And after you left Trot, where'd you
I
go?
went to East Falls Street, SS Kresge's.
And what'd you do at SS Kresge's?
Work, stock boy.
That was a 5 and dime store.
Yeah.
Didn't your mother work the counter there?
She was a cook downstairs.
She worked in the cook.
Yeah, downstairs.
And didn't she, when you got done with this 10 or 12 mile walking to SS Kresge's, didn't your mother
13 minutes.
every day make you a beautiful sandwich?
Yeah, she said, get down, eat it down there. There's a candy shop, a candy aisle downstairs.
So your mother wouldn't let you eat it at the counter?
And she said, don't make a mess.
So she made you eat it in the basement?
Yeah.
I'll be damned. And what was some of your jobs you had to do there?
Or at stock boy.
I heard you had to do some gum.
Some what?
Gum.
Some drama?
Gum.
Oh, the lighters that gets your scraper, scrape the gum off the wooden floor.
Wow. And then right next door, you worked at 2 movie theaters.
Yeah, Strand Cataract.
What'd you do there?
Usher, I was an usher there.
And what would the job of an usher be back then?
You go down the aisle, see where the empty seats are, flash your flashlight, see how many, 2 flashlights would be 2 empty seats. And there's somebody up the aisle looks at.
You must have seen every movie that was in production.
Yeah.
Were you able to eat free popcorn and stuff at the snack bar?
The what?
Were you able to eat something free at the snack bar by working there?
No.
Couldn't do it?
No.
What was the big problem you had there on Saturdays?
The kids come in for the movie that before noon. Then they got a horror movie on. They get all excited. They pee their pants.
And that was done on a regular basis?
Yeah. Then Linus would clean it up. It smells the whole place up.
So, kids on a regular basis would watch a horror movie and really get excited and scared and wet their pants. Like today, with all these laptops and iPhones and movies, I don't think you could scare a kid today.
No.
They're so used to seeing.
Seeing all that nonsense.
Yeah. And did you work somewhere else during school?
During school?
Yeah, where else did you do? 2 movie theaters, SS Kresge's. Didn't you deliver the newspaper?
I read Gina Osiski. I had 150 customers.
Wow.
That's a Polish paper.
There was no English in it.
No.
Did your mother get it?
She got us to read the obituary.
She just read the obituaries.
Yeah.
Were all the customers you had good payers?
No, I had to fight with them all the time.
You had to fight to get your money?
Yeah.
How come they wouldn't pay you?
They want to keep their money.
They want to keep their money. What would they tell you? Come back another day, or
come back another day? Don't bother us. I said, well, you get the paper. I gotta get paid. I gotta get the papers for nothing.
Yeah, you weren't stealing the papers. So you finally got your money?
Oh yeah. Then they squabble. I'm not paying you that much. I don't owe you that much.
Lord help us.
10 minutes.
Lord help us. But they're all Polish customers, all from the old country, and they're probably all really great cooks. When you went in there, wasn't it have a beautiful aroma of cooking?
Some places where some places they cook something I never smelled before. I didn't like the smell of it.
Something was offensive.
Brains or something.
Brains? Did you eat brains?
My mother made brains, but she doctored it up.
Have you ate brains lately?
No, I haven't. No.
Have you ate kishka lately?
No.
Have you ate tripe lately?
No.
So, boy, you're not much of a Polish.
No, not anymore. No.
But you finally got your money from them, right?
Yeah.
But you had a fight.
I didn't argue with him. Then I said, well, pay me when you can, but I got to pay the paper. I don't get the paper for nothing.
Did most of them still speak Polish?
Accent, yeah.
What would it? But you don't have an accent. How come?
Well, my father said, we're Americans. We're not going to talk Russian. We're not going to talk Polish. We're going to talk American.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. And that was a good advice.
Yeah.
That was really good advice, wasn't it? Wow. Did your neighbor in Niagara Falls?
Yeah, next door. They talk Polish at home, and he had a bad accent.
Like, what would they sound like?
Yeah, you couldn't understand him.
So he never got down to really accepting the English language.
No.
And unfortunately, you worked with him, right?
I worked in the machine room. He worked in the counter room.
But I thought you said he put his locker next to yours.
Well, after a while, I found out the locker had a locker empty upstairs, and it had a better shower. So we came back up to me to took the next locker over.
Okay.
I thought that was real funny of him.
Yeah. And you said something about his socks?
Yeah, I think this shocks out.
Right next to you.
Yeah, it was a pain in the ass.
He was a real pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Well, let me pick up a couple other things I dropped off that he said. Let's see. On rainy days when you have to catch a ride, I hope you don't ask your driver to drop you 2 blocks away so you won't be seen riding with someone as uncool as your mom.
Oh boy.
Yeah. If you want a slingshot, I hope your dad teaches you how to make one instead of buying one. Here's another important part. I hope you learn to dig in the dirt and read books. Did you read a lot of books?
Yeah, I worked at a month club, yeah.
And how did you get these books?
Through the mail.
Your mother didn't like the idea.
Well, I didn't get a book every week, but I got enough books. She said I was spending too much money on books.
So what it turned out to be, you had to beat your mother to the mailbox.
Yeah, and then I put the books underneath the bed.
So you had to hide the books that you subscribed to because your mother didn't like the idea.
Yeah, it would cost too much money.
Yeah, and then if you weren't allowed to have the books, where'd you go to read the books?
In the garage.
Wow. Imagine what mothers today would love to have their daughter or son reading books. I don't think I see any kids reading books anymore. I really don't. Let's continue these other ideas. When you learn to use computers, I hope you also learn to subtract in your head. Remember when you were a boy and they finally got telephones and everyone remembered the telephone number?
Yeah.
Now no one does because it's set up on their phone, you press a button.
Well, it's the party phone.
Yeah, oh, tell us about that. Many people don't know. When you first got a phone, it was a rotary phone stuck in the middle of the living room up on a wall, and you had a cord that was about 1 foot long, and when you dialed the number to call your friend, what happened?
Well, you get somebody talking on the other end, and that was the party line.
So you would share the phone with other people.
Yeah.
A party line. And then once you start talking to the friend, Did the other parties hang up?
They would hang up. They just sit there listening to what I'm
They
saying.
listened, okay.
I think sometimes they did, sometimes they did.
Yeah. Wow. It's funny how things have changed. May you skin your knee climbing a mountain and burn your hand on a stove and stick your tongue on a frozen flag.
Oh boy.
I don't care. Here's probably the most important book excerpt I pulled out today. I don't care if you try a beer once, but I hope you don't like it. And if a friend offers you dope or a joint, I hope you realize he or she is not your friend.
I know.
May you feel sorrow at a funeral and a joy during the holidays. I hope your mother punishes you when you throw a baseball through your neighbor's window.
I didn't throw it accidentally with it. I didn't do it deliberately.
But it happened though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you got punished, right?
Yeah.
What'd they do to you?
What they do to
I
you?
had to fix the window.
Wow.
How old were you?
I paid for it and everything.
11, 12.
Wow.
Wow. Was the neighbor angry?
Huh?
Was the neighbor angry?
No, I still wasn't angry, no.
But your parents were angry.
My mother?
Yeah.
Well, because I had to take out the money for the window
Where'd you get the glass at?
at the hardware store.
Okay. And you able to learn how to do that yourself?
Yeah.
That's amazing. All right, let me finish up here. May you feel sorrow at a funeral and joy in the holidays. And I hope your mother punishes you when you throw a baseball through your neighbor's window, and that she hugs and kisses you at Christmas time when you give her a plaster mold of your hand. I hope you make time to sit on the porch with Grandma and Grandpa and go fishing with your uncle.
Andy, yeah.
Uncle Andy.
Yeah.
He lived right across the creek, right?
Yeah, right across the Hyde Park, yeah. Take that
And you
little
work
bridge, wooden bridge.
Yeah, and he worked with you at Croysdale's, right?
Yeah.
The man was a genius.
Oh, yeah.
Third grade education,
Yeah.
and he'd do the most complex
Well,
math.
he's the top man. He's the causer.
Yeah.
Causer is that big fat is causes the penny on him.
Yeah. These are some of the things I wish for your grandkids and great-grandkids. Tough times and disappointment, hard work and happiness. To me, it's the only way to appreciate life. It's the only way to appreciate life. I happened to find a document over 80 years old when he went into the service and when he got out. It shows me here that you're 187 pounds. How much do you weigh now?
151.
You have a lot of catching up to do.
Never
You're
get
30
it back.
pounds off.
Never get it back.
Never get it back.
No.
Well, on the good news side, most people as they get older, they get fatter, and their uniforms won't fit.
Yeah.
Your uniforms would fit
Oh, yeah.
loosely.
Yeah.
Loosely.
Yeah.
It shows here you're at 3063 Orleans Avenue, Niagara Falls, New York, when you got drafted.
Yeah.
Ironic thing, there was no such thing as zip codes then. No such thing as zip codes then. Yeah, and some of the most interesting things I find on the page, after you fought the war and you were shot in the shoulder by a sniper, you're beat up and you were stabbed,
Lost a hip.
lost a hip, trench foot, frostbite. You're still suffering
I got
from
frostbite tonight, right now.
You're still suffering
Yeah.
the effects of frostbite.
Yeah.
And hit with a dirty bomb, you still have shrapnel in your body. What happens when you go to the airport to get on a plane?
The buzzer goes off, I give a slip. I got a slip. I show him a slip.
You have to show them a slip while the alarms are going off.
Yeah.
An interesting point I wanted to point out here
20 seconds.
is that you got a mustering out pay when you left to start your life over with by the government of $300.
Yeah, big deal.
And they gave it to you at $100 a month for 3 months.
Yeah.
Was that enough to get started again?
No, I didn't see anything of it.